A day after a phone call between Russian and Chinese presidents, U.S. President Donald Trump also confirmed a wide-ranging phone call with Chinese President Xi Jinping, a conversation that touched directly on Iran. Trump described the relationship as strong, emphasizing both leaders understand the importance of stability. The call also covered trade, Taiwan, and Trump's plans to visit China later this year, though Beijing stopped short of confirming that timeline. China's official readout focused instead on upcoming global summits and future leader-level meetings. What it did not mention is just as notable: no reference to distancing from Iran and no shift in Beijing's long-standing positions. The timing matters. Just a day earlier, Chinese President Xi held a separate call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, where Iran was also discussed. The Kremlin later confirmed that Moscow and Beijing continue to back each other on core national interests. Kremlin Foreign Affairs advisor Yuri Ushakov said Russia and China remain aligned in the face of external challenges, signaling coordination, not division, as Western pressure on Iran increases.
We consistently offer each other steadfast support on all critical matters that directly affect our respective national interests. When confronted with external challenges, our nations operate, as our Chinese friends often say, back to back, and can always count on each other without hesitation. During their discussions, Chairman Xi Jinping extended an invitation to Vladimir Putin to undertake an official visit to China during the first half of the current year. The invitation was gratefully accepted. The precise timing and further details will be coordinated at a later date. The leader of the People's Republic of China also extended an invitation to the Russian president to participate in the upcoming summit of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum, APEC, which will be held in the southern Chinese city of Shenzhen.
President Vladimir Putin and President Xi Jinping have exchanged their perspective on the ongoing state of diplomatic relations with the United States.
Our fundamental approaches and perspectives, even in this specific context, are practically in complete alignment with one another. This profound convergence of our viewpoints is clearly and distinctly reflected, for example, in the comprehensive evaluations we have made regarding the significant initiative put forth by the President of the United States concerning the establishment of a new International Peace Council.
In principle, Russia and China advocate for equitable, mutually beneficial cooperation based on the principles of international law and the UN Charter.
The leaders are aware of the ongoing contacts between our countries and Donald Trump's administration.
They perceive this situation as offering a range of new and promising opportunities. The chairman of the People's Republic of China, in particular, fully supports the ongoing negotiations of the Trilateral Working Group in Abu Dhabi on critical security matters.
On the 5th of February, the period of validity for the Treaty on the Limitation of Strategic Offensive Arms is set to officially expire. As you are aware, we put forward a proposal to the American side on the 22nd of September 2025, suggesting the extension for an additional year of the central quantitative limits intended to function as voluntary self-restriction. However, an official response from the American side has not yet been received.
Vladimir Putin emphasized that in this current situation, we are going to act in a balanced and responsible way, based on a comprehensive and thorough analysis of the general situation in the field of international security.
Esteemed Mr. Chairman, my dear friend, I am truly delighted that we are continuing this excellent tradition of our personal communication at the very beginning of a new year, when we always take stock of the results from the period that has just passed and carefully outline our plans for the future ahead. Especially on such a symbolic day according to the Chinese folk calendar. Today marks the start of spring, Li Chun, after which the frost depart, renewal begins, and a new cycle in nature commences. And for Russian-Chinese relations, we can confidently, with absolute certainty, declare this to be true. No matter what time of year it is always spring. And I would like to personally congratulate you and, through your esteemed person, the entire friendly Chinese nation on the upcoming new 2026 year and the approaching Spring Festival, which, as we understand, will usher in the Year of the Red Fire Horse. the papoli emotontashi duekumo, and it is characterized by strength, energy, and a constant unwavering drive to move forward. This is precisely what truly distinguishes the deep connections between our two nations. Regardless of the prevailing international situation, I am absolutely confident in their enduring strength and their steady, progressive development across all possible areas. The Russian-Chinese comprehensive partnership and strategic interaction are exemplary in nature. This year, we are celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Treaty on Good Neighborliness, Friendship and Cooperation, which is fundamental to our relations. Its further implementation undoubtedly meets the fundamental interests of the peoples of both countries, contributes to strengthening comprehensive, truly all-encompassing cooperation between Russia and China, and most importantly, to improving the well-being of our citizens. Taking this opportunity, I wish to once again assure you of our unwavering support for all our collective efforts aimed at guaranteeing the sovereignty and security of our two nations, their socio-economic prosperity, and their inherent right to choose their own developmental path. Let me say a few words about the results of the past year. I believe we successfully celebrated in May in Moscow and in September in Beijing the 80th anniversary of the victory in World War II. The fact that we were together these days demonstrated to the entire world our solidarity, Russia and China's readiness to uphold historical truth and to carefully preserve the memory of the heroic feat of the peoples of our countries who, at the cost of tens of millions of lives, restored peace on our planet. The presidency of China in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization also concluded with substantial and practical outcomes, the culmination of which was the summit held in Tianjin. During our detailed discussions held in Moscow and Beijing, we comprehensively examined the principal areas and identified significant objectives for the continued enhancement of our bilateral cooperation. Through government channels, vigorous daily work is underway to implement these agreements. Economic cooperation in 2025 continued its stable development, despite a slight decrease, I would even say a necessary adjustment of indicators. Trade turnover for the third consecutive year, with a solid margin, surpasses the significant mark of $200 billion. Russia is among the leaders in terms of energy resource supplies to China. Our partnership in the energy sector has a mutually beneficial and truly strategic character. We maintain an active dialogue on peaceful nuclear energy, advancing high-tech projects, including in industry and space exploration. According to our data, agricultural trade volume has grown by over 20%. We are also satisfied with the pace of expanding humanitarian exchanges. The years of culture successfully concluded. More than 400 vibrant events held within their framework sparked genuine interest among citizens of both countries. Naturally, we're not stopping at this point. And in particular, in the coming days in Moscow and other Russian cities, the Chinese New Year will once again be widely celebrated. For us, this has also become a good tradition. And residents and guests of Beijing will get acquainted with Russian traditions of seeing of winter at the Moscow Maslenitsa festival. The cross years of education have now officially begun. Currently, over 56,000 Chinese students are studying in Russia, while more than 21,000 Russian students are pursuing their studies in China. Dozens of joint educational institutions and specialized university associations are currently functioning. However, there still remains significant potential for the further expansion of ties within this particular area. Moreover, the era of innovation and digitalization dictates the urgent need to train highly qualified specialists in new advanced fields. The growth of business and humanitarian contacts is undoubtedly significantly facilitated by the introduction of a visa-free regime. I am truly grateful to you for this initiative, which we readily supported. As far as I know, since its implementation, no substantial issues have arisen for the relevant specialized agencies. As for the international situation, in the context of increasing global turbulence, the foreign policy alignment between Moscow and Beijing remains a significant stabilizing factor. We are prepared to continue the closest coordination on global and regional issues, both bilaterally and across all on multilateral platforms, such as the United Nations, BRICS, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and various others, where the Russian-Chinese tandem plays a very significant and often pivotal role. We wish them every success and will, of course, provide all the necessary support and assistance to the Chinese Presidency, and to our Chinese friends at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum. Dear friend, let me wish you once again a happy new year and the approaching Spring Festival. I wish you personally strong health, well-being and good fortune in all your many undertakings. And to the friendly Chinese people, I extend wishes for peace and prosperity. Thank you.
It is with great respect that I address you, esteemed Mr. President Putin.
My old and truly dear friend,
I am truly delighted to have this opportunity to meet with you at the beginning of this new year in a video conference setting.
Today, according to the lunar calendar, we are observing Li Chun, which is traditionally known as the very beginning of spring. You just mentioned this yourself.
Li Chun marks the beginning of the 24 solar term cycle and signifies the return of spring to Earth, embodying a new beginning and hope. On such a pleasant and highly symbolic day, I am delighted to have an in-depth conversation with you.
Together, let's develop a new grand plan for bilateral relations development.
Just recently, you specifically dispatched Comrade Shoigu to China to conduct a thorough synchronization of views with Comrade Wang Yi. This was concerning various international and regional flashpoints, all in preparation for our upcoming meeting. Comrade Wang Yi has since reported back to me on the discussions.
Today, I am ready to be with you.
To conduct a comprehensive exchange of views on all major strategic issues. Over the past year, you and I have had the opportunity to meet twice. Sino-Russian relations are now entering a new stage of development. We have solemnly observed the 80th anniversary of the triumph in the global anti-fascist war, which clearly demonstrates the unwavering determination of our nations in upholding the crucial outcomes of the Second World War and the principles of international justice.
Bilateral trade cooperation is developing dynamically and steadily, and collaboration in new areas is progressing at an accelerated pace. The years of culture between China and Russia have been successfully organized. Cultural and humanitarian cooperation has reached a new height. Frequent exchanges have become more vibrant.
The successful conclusion of the SCO summit in Jinan, as well as the meeting of the Council of Heads of Government of the SCO in Moscow, provides us with the opportunity to further strengthen our multilateral cooperation with the ultimate goal of continuing our important work towards the establishment of a truly multipolar world
and a more just and rational system of global governance.
The year 2026 will mark the beginning of our nation's 15th five-year plan. China stands prepared to more actively broaden its high-level openness to the international community and is ready to share new development opportunities with countries around the world, including Russia.
This year also marks the 30th anniversary of the establishment of China-Russia relations of partnership and strategic cooperation, the 25th anniversary of the signing of the China-Russia Treaty of Good Neighborliness, Friendship and Cooperation, and the launch of the years of education between China and Russia. It is important to seize this historic opportunity.
constantly strengthen strategic cooperation, jointly hold major terrorists accountable for the continuous development of China-Russia relations on the right track.